So today we did side control attacks. We did Americana, we did an America on the other arm, then we did 2 straight arm bars from like a step over position. So the first is, so these are, well, it's all sort of a sequence. So the first, so this is initiated when you're able to get under the elbow of the far arm. So you wanna, let's just say your opponent's head is to your left. So your right arm goes around on top and around and grabs the shoulder. And then you want to get your elbow under his elbow. And then you want to work your shoulder under his elbow. So you want to use your shoulder as like the lever or the wedge. And then get his arm above his head, arm above his shoulder. It's weaker when it's above his shoulder. Then with the right arm, you want to switch your hips so that your right hip is under his arm, and then you want to pull his arm up so his right arm is also above his shoulder, and you're keeping it there with your hips. At which point you can switch back to your left hip leading. So now it's like you're in side control, but instead of around his torso, you're up on his shoulders. Then with his left arm, if it's framing you, with your right hand, you get like a wrist grip, and then you can use your body weight to push that arm to the ground. Your left hand comes under the neck, and you get like a Kimura grip. So left hand grabs his left wrist, your right hand is underneath his bicep, and you grip your left wrist. So it's like a Kimura, like a Kimura control. Your left elbow creates separation between his head and the arm, and then you can bring it lower. The lower his elbow is, the tighter it is, and then when I say lower, I mean lower, like in the direction of his hips. And then you raise his elbow like vertically using your right arm as like a pry bar. So that's the first one. Second one is if he doesn't frame with his left hand, but instead reaches behind you, then with your left arm, you grip his right arm and lower to the mat. On top of your right leg, and then your right leg comes on top. So his arm is like above your thigh, and then you pommel your right ankle on top of the arm of his arm. You want his arm to bend. So once you have this position, it's like another kind of Americana, and then you can either like bicep curl your hamstring, like do a curl with your hamstring, or you can hip out. You can extend your groin forward, or a combination of the two to put the pressure on. And then the third variation is if he doesn't frame with his left leg and hides it behind your back, or left arm, and then with the right arm you want to push it down, so instead he like hugs you so you can't get access to your right arm. So you're in like scarf control, and his arms are wrapped around you, so you don't have access to either arm. You can't do either Americana. Then with your left hand, you pull up on his right arm a little, just give yourself a little space. Then you step over with your left leg or left foot. You step over his head. So now you're attacking his right arm with an arm bar, a straight arm bar. So you're stepping over his head with your left foot. Your right arm comes across above your knee. So now you're locking in his arm between your leg and your arm and your neck. And then in your neck, and then you extend to get the arm bar. If you can't finish that way, then you're attacking the other arm. So you're attacking his left arm. So now you're still in the same position. You can immediately go to this if the other arm bar doesn't work. So now your right arm comes, like, scoops under his left arm, and you grab your shoulder, and then your left arm grabs your right elbow or higher up, and you also create some tension with your neck. So Fabio showed me when we were drilling, because I wasn't doing it, I was just kind of squeezing. So you want to extend his arm, and then you want to put pressure on his elbow in the opposite way that his elbow is supposed to go. So the right arm, your right arm coming up and grabbing your left shoulder extends the arm, and then your neck should hold his arm, help hold it in place, and then your left arm reaching down should extend the elbow. I think that's how it is. I need to find a video on this. But those are the 3 techniques today.